Good morning, students, and welcome you all in the next class. I welcome you all in the next class for the polymer chemistry, and here we are talking about the polymers which we have started in the last lecture. And we have already completed some important polymers, three important polymers which we have completed, that is polyethylene. In that we have talked about, we have studied LDP, HDP. We have also seen Teflon, and we have also seen natural rubber. Okay, now continuing with the same topics, that is important polymers, we'll talk about the other polymer, that is the fourth type of polymer, is polyacrylonitrile polymer. Okay, now, this polyacrylonitrile is prepared by addition polymerization of acrylonitrile. Acrylonitrile is a monomer, and here the peroxide is used in presence of peroxide because peroxide is used as an initiator for this reaction. Now, as I have specified, like it is an addition polymerization. We have already studied, you all know what is an addition reaction. When I say an addition reaction, the molecule is added in that. Let's see the reaction and then we'll talk on the addition procedure. Now, this polyacrylonitrile, it is also called as PAN, capital PAN. In short, we call it as PAN, that is polyacrylonitrile. It resembles wool and is used as a substitute for wool. So it is used for making orlon. Okay, like sweaters and all that are made from this. Now you see the reaction, like why I called it as an addition reaction. See on the screen, the monomer is CH2 double bond CHCN. This is nothing but an acrylonitrile. Its common name is vinyl cyanide. Now this undergoes n number of monomers are taken under certain conditions, like in presence of the peroxide, it undergoes polymerization and you get a polyacrylonitrile. Okay, so this is the polymer which we are getting. Now in this case, this double bond of vinyl cyanide is broken, like and both the carbon atoms contains a single electron. Now, the addition of different monomer units, a bond is formed between the carbon of one monomer unit with the another unit, and then another forms a bond with the next one, and this is how the polymerization continues. Now, if you see this reaction, nothing is liberated. Okay, like the whole molecule is added, so it is called as an addition reaction. Clear? Now, we'll start with the next category of polymers. These are called as polyamide polymers. Okay. Polyamide polymers are generally known as nylons. Okay. And nylon is the generic name of this synthetic linear polyamides, which are obtained by condensation polymerization. See the word I'm using here. Earlier I said that was an addition reaction. The whole molecules were added, nothing was liberated. But when I say this is a condensation polymerization between dicarboxylic acids and the diamines, or this reaction can be carried out by ring opening polymerization of lactams. Now, what exactly is this? We'll see in the reaction. Is it clear? Now, this why they are called as polyamides? The question is arising over here. Since they contain an amide linkage, that is C double bond O dash NH, this linkage is called as amide linkage. So in this polyamides, there are so many, like the monomers are attached by this amide linkage. So they are called as polyamides. Clear? Now let's start with the One of the polyamide in this category is nylon 6,6. The monomers which are used over here are adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. Sorry. The two monomers which are used are adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine, which on mixing forms nylon salt. And this nylon salt undergoes condensation polymerization under certain conditions of high temperature and pressure, gives you polyamide fiber, and this is called as nylon 6,6. Now let's see the reaction, what exactly is happening. Now in this, you see this reaction on the screen where I have the first molecule is hexamethylene diamine. See, there are, and this can also be named as 1,6-diaminohexane. This is the IUPAC name. And the second monomer is used over here is 1,4-butane dicarboxylic acid. This is again an adip. This is the common name for this is adipic acid. Now, when these two are mixed together, you get a nylon salt, that is nylon 66 salt. If you see the structure nicely on the screen, here you have both the groups present. One is a basic group and one is an acidic group present. This is a basic group, this is an acidic group. Both are present together. So it is called as the salt. Okay. So it is a salt made from nylon 66, and we have a bifunctional monomer. See, there are two functional groups present. Okay, here we have two amino groups. Here we have we have two carboxylic groups. So it is called as a, they are called as the bifunctional monomers. Now this nylon salt, which is obtained, it is heated at a high temperature and pressure. The temperature is about 553 K, and it forms a polyamide, and N molecules of water are liberated. Now, see here, the water molecule is liberated from here, from this side, and you have the formation of an amide linkage, that is C double bond ONH. This linkage which I'm showing you over here is called as the amide linkage. Okay, so now the question arises कि why these are called as, why this polymer is called as nylon 66. Now see exactly what we have given over here. If you see this monomer, first one, that is hexamethylene diamine, there are 6 carbon atoms. If I see the second monomer over here, again this 4, this is 1 5, and this is 6. That's the total number of carbon in adipic acid are also 6, and total number of carbons in hexamethylene diamine are also 6. So it is called as nylon 66. Is it clear? Now, as I have already told you, nylon 66, these numerals in the name of the polymer stands for the number of carbon atoms in the two bifunctional monomers. Okay. Now, nylon 66 is a high molecular mass, linear condensation polymer. Now, why we are calling it as a condensation polymer? Let's go back and see. Now, here, in this reaction, earlier what we have seen, the whole molecule was added and nothing was liberated. But when I talk about this reaction, if you see nicely on the screen, when this salt is heated at a high temperature, a water molecule is liberated. When the monomers join together with the liberation of a small molecule, whether it is a water or any small molecule, if a small molecule is liberated, that reactions are called as condensation reaction. Is it clear? Now they possess a high tensile strength, and it does not soak in water. They are used for making sheets, bristles for brushes, surgical sutures, textile fabrics, etc. Now, under the category of polyamides, we are going to talk about the another polyamide polymer, that is nylon 6. Now, as I have earlier told you, some polymers are made by ring opening. So this is one of the example of ring opening polymer. Okay, ring opening polymerization. When epsilon caprolactam is heated with water at a high temperature, it undergoes ring opening polymerization to give polyamide, that is nylon 6. Okay. Now see on the screen nicely, this is what is the structure of epsilon caprolactam. Now the question arises, why this is called as epsilon? Now, if this carbon, like to its the carbon which is attached to C double bond O is getting a alpha. This is beta, this is gamma, this is delta, and this is epsilon. Okay, the carbon which is attached to C double bond O group is called as alpha carbon, and numbering serially like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and epsilon. And epsilon is the position of this NH group. Okay, so it is called as epsilon caprolactam. Now, when this epsilon caprolactam is heated at a very high temperature, the ring opening takes place and the bond between this carbon and nitrogen is broken. Okay, and then the polymerization of these units takes place. Now, this is what is the repeating unit of epsilon caprolactam, and this n number of units combine together to form a polymer that is called as nylon 6. Now again, here also the question arises, why this is called as nylon 6? Now since I have earlier told you, like this is called as nylon 6, this is 6, this is called as 6. So why the number 6 is given? This number 6 is given because there are 6 carbon atoms. You can count the number of carbon atoms over here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This carbon is also counted. So there are 6 carbon atom in this monomer. So we call it as a nylon 6. So the number is specified, that is 6. Now next topic is uses of this. Due to the high tensile strength and luster, nylon 6 fibers are used for the manufacture of tire cords, fabrics, and ropes. Now let's talk about the next type of polymer, that is polyesters. Now under this category, polyesters, they have a ester linkage. Earlier we have seen they have an amide linkage. Here now they have a ester linkage. Polyesters have a ester linkage joining the repeating units. Commercially important polyester is called as sterylene. You all know this. And it is also called as Decron. Now, how is this polyester obtained? It is obtained by condensation polymerization of ethylene glycol and terphthalic acid. Now, in presence of a catalyst and high temperature. Now, let's see how exactly this is taking place. Now, see over here, I have showed you the structure of ethylene glycol when two alcohol groups are present. The particular compound is called as glycol. So, this is ethylene glycol as two carbons are there. And this particular structure or this monomer is called as terphthalic acid. Now, when these are heated at a high temperature like 420 to 460, in presence of the catalyst like zinc acetate and antimony trioxide, it undergoes polymerization where the hydroxyl group of ethylene glycol and carboxylic group of terphthalic acid undergoes condensation with the liberation of water molecule. Okay, so likewise we have taken n number of ethylene glycol and n number of terphthalic acids. They undergo condensation and we have the formation of a polymer. Okay, so this polymer is having, now see the structure nicely on the screen. Yeah, where I'm showing you the pointer, this C double bond O, this particular linkage is called as ester linkage. Now, because of the presence of, since these units are joined together by ester linkage, so since so many ester linkages are there, it's a polymer, and so we call it as a polyester. Okay, and n number of water molecules are liberated. Now let's see the properties of this. Charylein is having a high melting point, and that is 256 degrees centigrade. It is resistant to chemicals and water. There are some uses of terylene. It is used for making a wrinkle-free fabric. Now you all know we come across certain fabrics where you don't have to iron. So there are certain fabrics which are wrinkle-free. They are formed by blending of cotton and wool. It is actually terracotta and terry wool. When they are blended together, you get a wrinkle-free fabric. Okay. Now it is also used as glass reinforcing material in safety helmets. PET is another trade name of polyester, that is polyethylene terephthalate, which is used for making bottles and packaging containers. Now the next polymer which we have to study is Buna S. Now Buna S is what? It is an elastomer. Okay, and a copolymer of styrene and butadiene. Now again a question arises, what do you mean by a copolymer over here? As the classification is skipped from our syllabus, I have already told you classification is deleted from your syllabus because of COVID-19 pandemic. And but I'll make you very much clear now why this is called as copolymer. Now, when I talk about this polymer is made from styrene and butadiene, since two monomers are used, that is styrene and butadiene, it is called as copolymer. If only one monomer is used, then it is called as homopolymer. This is the type of classification depending upon the monomers used. Now, from this, you can make out that since two different monomers are used, we call it as a copolymer. Clear? The trade name SBR, that is styrene butadiene rubber, is the trade name of Buna S, which is obtained from 75 parts of butadiene and 25 parts of styrene, which is subjected to an addition polymerization by the action of sodium. Now, Buna S is superior. We have already studied one of the elastomer, that was natural rubber. Buna S is superior than natural rubber with regard to the mechanical strength and aberrations, resistance, hence used in tire industry. Now see the reaction on the screen where I have a monomer, that is 1,3-butadiene, which we have already seen during polyisoprene unit. Now see the structure over here. At 1 and 3rd position, you have double bond, so it is at 1,3 position. So we call it as 1,3-butadiene. Sorry, 1 minute. Now, since these two monomers react together, here, like if you see the structure of styrene, where we have a CH double bond CH2, these two monomers react together and you have the formation of a polymer, that is butadiene styrene copolymer. Okay, now these bonds are broken. In case of 1,3-butadiene, this both the bonds are broken, and in case of styrene this bond is broken, and here both the carbon atom carries a single electron, and here all the carbon atom carries the single electron, and a double bond is formed between these two carbon. Okay, so you can see in red I have shown you in the product, this double bond is formed by the single electron of this carbon and this carbon. Okay, now this carbon and this carbon carries a single electron, and therefore it undergoes a covalent bond formation with this carbon. So the repeating unit over here is this. Okay, now n number of this repeating unit join together to form a polymer. So I have written it over here. Okay, so n molecules of these are taken, n molecules of these are taken, and they are forming a copolymer, that is butadiene styrene. Okay, now the next which we have to study is a neoprene. Now what is neoprene? This is again coming under the category of elastomers. It is a synthetic rubber. It is obtained by a condensation polymerization of chloroprene. Now what is chloroprene? 2-chloro-1,3-butadiene is called as chloroprene. This chloroprene polymerizes rapidly in presence of oxygen. Vulcanization of this neoprene takes place in presence of magnesium oxide. Now see, this polymer is called as neoprene. It is obtained from the monomer chloroprene. So please don't get confused. Chloroprene is the monomer and neoprene is the polymer, which is obtained from chloroprene by polymerization. Okay, and vulcanization of neoprene takes place in presence of magnesium oxide. Earlier we have seen that vulcanization takes place in presence of sulfur, we have seen. Now here in this case it is taking place with magnesium oxide. Neoprene is resistant to petroleum, vegetable oil, light and heat. Now how exactly this reaction is taking place? See on the screen what we have. This is the chloroprene structure, that is CH2, double bond CCl, CH2, again a double bond. Now if you see nicely, this is again the structure of 1,3-butadiene only, but one of the hydrogen at second position is replaced by Cl. So it becomes chloroprene. Okay. Now this undergoes polymerization and you get a polymer that is called as neoprene. Now again the same way, this is again an addition polymerization. These bonds are broken, this bond is broken, a double bond is created over here, and n number of these molecules combine together to give me a polymer. Clear? Now here, as I said, it also undergoes vulcanization. Now in presence of magnesium oxide, this particular neoprene unit, when a magnesium oxide is added, they undergo a cross-linking. Now here when I add a magnesium oxide in this, so MgCl2 is liberated. Like if suppose I have two chains of this neoprene, and I have an MgO over here, MgCl2 is liberated, and oxygen atom is attached over here. So it forms a crosslink. Okay, so here crosslinks are formed with oxygen. Now see, next topic is uses of this. In making the hose pipes for transport of gasoline, and making the gaskets. These are used. It are also used for the manufacture of insulator cable, jackets, belts for power transmission. Now, we are going to talk about the last type of polymers, that are biodegradable polymers. Now, from the word itself, you can say that they are degraded with time. Okay. Now, when they are disposed, they can be degraded by the microorganism. Now, aliphatic polyesters and polyamides with large number of polar linkages are important class of biodegradable polymers. Now, as we know, there is a vast development in the polymer industry, and without, as I have told you earlier also, without polymers, the life would have not been possible. But still, it is said that this polymer, synthetic polymers, create lot of environmental pollution. Okay, now because of that, biodegradable polymers came into picture. Disposed natural waste are usually attacked by soil microbes and they get degraded to humans. Okay, to overcome the pollution problems which are caused by synthetic polymers, biodegradable polymers are developed. This polymer contain a functional group similar to those of the biopolymers. You know, when I talk about proteins, protein is a biopolymer. There are two types of functional group present. One is carboxylic and one is amino. So, and when they are linked together, we have an amide linkage which is formed. So, these polymers contain a functional group which is similar to those of the biopolymers. Now, under this category of biodegradable polymers, we are going to study PhbV. Now, what is this PhbV? A question arises. PhbV is a copolymer of beta hydroxy carboxylic acid, namely beta hydroxy. Actually, PhbV is obtained from two types of carboxylic acids. Okay, so one is beta hydroxy butyric acid and another one is beta hydroxy valeric acid. Okay, the hydroxyl group of one of the monomer forms an ester link by reacting with the carboxylic group of the other. So see, we'll see the reaction, then you will understand, and I'll make you clear over there. PhbV is an aliphatic polyester with the name beta hydroxy butyrate co means copolymer beta hydroxy valerate. So this is how PhbV name is coming into picture. Okay, beta hydroxy butyrate co beta hydroxy valerate. It is degraded by as we are talking, these are biodegradable polymers. They are degraded by microbes in the environment. Now see the reaction which I had shown you on the screen. This is a preparation of this polymer, that is PhbV. Now if you see the first structure, this is, as I said, it is a beta hydroxy butyric acid, and this one is beta hydroxy valeric acid. Okay. Now we'll see the IUPAC name. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon atoms are present. And at the third position, I have this OH group. So I call it as 3-hydroxy butanoic acid. Similarly, come to the next monomer unit. And that is, again, we have over here 5 carbons. So it is a pentanoic acid. And at the third position, I have a OH group. So it is called as 3-hydroxy pentanoic acid or a beta hydroxy valeric acid, which is the common name. Now, when these two are treated together in certain conditions of temperature and pressure, this water n number of these. So just make n over here. N number of both the monomers are taken, and they undergo a condensation reaction where a water molecules and number of water molecules are liberated. The hydroxyl group of beta hydroxy valeric acid and the carboxylic group of beta hydroxy butyric acid join together with the liberation of water molecule, and I have the formation of PhbV. Now, if you see nicely over here, this is a ester. Okay, this is a polyester. This linkage is ester, and this is a polyester. Okay, so this is also biodegradable. These are called as aliphatic polyesters. Okay. Now, under this biodegradable polymers, under this category, this is the last polymer which we have to discuss is nylon 2, nylon 6. Okay. Now, this is a polyamide from the word itself, like nylon, which we have studied earlier also, nylon 6 and nylon 6,6. They were polyamides. This is again a polyamide, and it is a copolymer since two different monomers are used. Now, I don't have to tell you every time that this is a copolymer. From the reaction itself, you can understand that this is a copolymer because two different monomers are used. Okay. It is a polyamide copolymer of two amino acids. Now see, the first amino acid over here is glycine and the second one is epsilon amino caproic acid. See the structure nicely of both the monomers. They undergo polymerization, and here like you have the liberation of water molecules. See where I'm pointing you. OH group from here and a hydrogen from this amino group. They liberate a water molecule. So I have the formation of this particular structure. Okay, so, the N should be specified over here as it is a polymer. So just write N over here where I am showing you the pointer. This is the repeating unit, and number of repeating units combined together to form a polymer. So just write N over here. Okay. Now a question arises over here again. Why it is called as nylon 2 and nylon 6? No, I think you should answer this because we have studied nylon 6 and nylon 6,6. Okay. Now, in this case, if you see nicely the structures, here two carbon atoms are present in glycine. Okay. So, nylon 2, number 2 is specified over here. And in the second case, we have 5 and 1, 6 carbon atom. So the 6 number is specified over here. Okay. So this is what is there. So this is what we have discussed about all the polymers over here. And this is the end of our lesson. I have tried to complete each and everything, but one topic which is there for your assignment, which I want you to complete over here. Study the structures and applications of some of the commercially important polymers which are given in your textbook table number 15.1. I just want you to go through it and just make a tutorial of this so that it will be easy for you to understand. Clear? Now here we have completed the topic introduction to the polymers. This whole lesson is completed. You go through it, and as the topics which I have not covered are deleted from your syllabus, I'm again telling you here the topics which are not completed in these lectures are deleted from your syllabus only for this year. That is because of COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. So please go through this lesson, and if you have any difficulties, do come up. Okay. And thank you.